Hello and welcome to another episode of Mortgage Video Mastermind, where we bring you professionals who share insight into the latest trends, tips, industry, technology, and services to help you create more videos to use in your mortgage business. Okay, we are live. Happy Friday. And my name is Isabel. I'm here with Shang from the hot Austin, Texas, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia today. So it's a background for me. I'm actually at an esports team house, and they're playing their first game in the playoffs. Hence, that's why I'm wearing our team jersey here. So a little bit different. And so welcome, everyone. For those of you who are watching us live or watching the recording, we're happy to have you here. And so today we decided to talk about adding captions to your videos. And I had posted some information. And Ricardo, hello.
Hi.
We have a special guest on today joining us. And so thanks for hopping on, Ricardo. I know you kind of got kicked out in the beginning, but you are back and ready to go.
Awesome.
He also got recruited at the last minute, so we'll give him a little bit of leeway.
Hey, we're known for that. It's like nothing like, hey, let's talk about this. It's like, oh, so-and-so knows that. It's like, and that's what this is all about, right? I mean, that's why we started the Mortgage Video Mastermind group, is just to be able to kind of kick it around. It's like, what are the conversations we need to have about video? What are the little, tools you're using? And so, Ricardo, I know you do a lot about video, and today we're talking about adding captions to your video and the importance of that. So thanks for hopping on. I'm going to let you do an intro about yourself and who you are and what kind of videos you do and all that. And then we'll start talking about different apps to use.
Oh, I'm just a regular guy.
I'm just a regular Joe.
No, I've known Scott. I always joke that I've known Scott since he was this little. But I'm a 10-year veteran of the real estate industry. I've worked at companies like Diverse Solutions, Cloud CMA, Copy Blogger, or Agent Press by Copy Blogger. I've just been creating content for the last decade or so. When I think back about how long it's been, it's kind of crazy.
Cool. So some of the videos you do, and I apologize, I'm going to look at some comments we're having here. Okay, good. Carlos, he's seeing us live. So it's the thing when you go live, you just always remember, it's like, are we really live? Am I really streaming? All those kind of things. Okay, so let's talk about the importance of adding captions. I had posted an article yesterday into our Facebook group that just talked about 75% of viewers on Facebook don't ever turn the volume on the videos.
True.
Watch the videos. And, I love watching, a good movie, but if it's like just subtitles, like, man, I got to really commit to watching it, because not only do I have to watch it, but I have to read it. So, what are you finding as far as people reading videos?
I'm actually the exact opposite of you as far as that goes. I have to have closed captions on when I'm watching any movies or TV.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like, and I feel like I can't pay attention if it's not on. Well, especially, now Netflix has all of these really great movies from like around the world. And so like Australian movies or Scottish movies or English movies, sometimes you're not always picking up the accent.
Right.
I'm me personally, I'm uncomfortable watching anything without captions. I have to pause it, find out how to turn on subtitles, and then turn it on. It's really interesting. It's a strange phenomenon that's just come up because of how much video is in our lives right now.
I had a really long day the other day, and I'm like you. I need captions. I was like, wow, these captions are kind of weird. The captions defaulted to Spanish. I was reading them in Spanish.
Well, it's a way to improve your other language, right?
Like I said, I had a really long day that day. I was like, wow, these captions are really weird.
You understand them for some reason.
Yeah.
You know what? See, I'm almost the opposite, because when the captions are on and I'm reading it, it's like, why am I reading this? It's like, because you tend to default. It's like, okay, now I'm reading everything that they're saying, and it's like, wait a minute, I don't have to do that. I want to enjoy it. So movies are one thing, and obviously how you decide to do that. But on videos, and the reason why that people are not listening to the videos, because often they're on their phone and they don't have that ability, or maybe they don't have their headset in, or they're in with room, or you're in the line at Starbucks or whatever to listen, right? But we still like watching the videos. So what are you finding as far as putting those captions in, how you're doing that? And I think what we'll do is, I know we've got an app that you have, and I'm going to look for what we have here for our app. So I'll let you talk about an app that you use on your phone.
So I told Scott this a while back, and it was, this is pre-COVID. We were doing a lot of lunch and learns, so live classes. And anytime we didn't have enough butts and seats, or we wanted to put more butts and seats, we would run ads. And one of the things that I started to do was record these videos to promote the event. But you can hire a video editor. So you can go online, hire a video editor to put the, the countdown timer or the progress bar.
Yeah.
Put a heading on there and, edit the video, make it awesome. But I was impatient searching. I could go to you can go to Fiverr and hire people to do this for you for like $15, $20.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But I found an app. It was called Veemly, VEM.ly.
Yeah, I've got it scrolling. So
it's pretty awesome. It's like $10 a month, and you can record your video on an iPhone, which is what I normally do because our phones are great these days.
Yep.
So you get really high quality video, and then you can upload that video to the Veemly app. Once it uploads the video, you can say extract subtitles, and it'll take that video and instantly add subtitles to it. And then you can edit it in about 10-second increments, I think, 10 to 15-second increments. So it'll type out the captions for you. Just listen to the video to make sure that it's on point, get rid of any misspellings, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really easy to do. And then you decide what format you want. Do you want a square for like your Instagram post? Do you want it sized for stories, et cetera, et cetera? You drop in your progress bar, change the color to whatever you want, and then you drop in your header and change that color to whatever you want. So honestly, you can have a really awesome, ready to go 60-second promo video with captions, with your progress bar, with your header, in less than, like, it takes me 10 to 15 minutes to edit that in Veemly.
Cool.
Whereas hiring a company to do it for me, or an editor to do it for me, it's going to cost me a lot of money. And I'm going to wait, however long. Whereas here, I can knock it out in 10 or 15 minutes.
Well, and I love the fact that it's on your phone, because I'm like you. So many times I just want to do a quick video. And so like yesterday, I just wanted to do a video to send out to our clients about a new video that we had just dropped. We made a video on Pride homeownership. So combining Pride Month with Homeownership Month. And we talked about Pride and homeownership. So I just wanted to send out a quick message to let our group know that it was available. I didn't want anything fancy, and I just grabbed my phone and just recorded it real quick. And so the ability to have those sub captions on there about a call to action, or even like, the registration link, even if you don't want it to record what you're saying, I think is cool, because then if you're using BombBomb, you got a video, it's all done, editing's done real quick. And you don't have to spend a lot of time doing that. And I think the easier it can be for you to find tools like that, where you can drop more videos and it doesn't take a lot of time, then the more videos you're going to do. And you're right. I mean, our phones, it's amazing what our phones can do for video. You don't need. My son's friend just got the new Android that is the Samsung, I believe, that has like a killer, amazing camera in it. We were in Hawaii, and it was the fire moon. And so we went out and we looked at it. He grabbed his phone and he just zoomed in a little bit. I mean, honestly, it was like having a telescope. I've never seen a phone camera
that can zoom in that much.
So friggin' powerful. It's like, and I've been an iPhone user for years, and I'm almost like, shit, I want to get that phone. because of the camera.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
it's amazing what you can do. So when you take that and you say, so you have to go in, you kind of have to clean it up a little bit. And that's the thing. So we use another service that is called Subly. And it's also a transcription service. And so you can, same thing, but it's on your desktop. You can upload your video into it. It transcribes it, and then you can go clean it up. We actually use that service because we will pull, and Scott, I know you do this too, and I think you have a different service that you use for this.
Yeah.
So you can record a video, upload that video into Subly, and then it transcribes it. Then we actually take that, download that entire video script, clean it up, and then post it onto the web page along with the video. So we have clients we do that for. So we take their video, say they do a video on VA updates. Now that goes onto their webpage along with the entire transcript of the video. So you don't have to rethink it. And honestly, it doesn't take that long at all to do that. And now you've got two purposes. And plus, you know, and Scott, you've been blogging for years. Now you can take that and throw that into a blog if you want to, you know, repurpose something like that. So captions are very important.
Well, we're kind of talking. We're talking about two different things, but they're the same thing. So you're talking about transcription and captions, and the captions are a transcription. But you're right, transcriptions are the copy that you can put as the blog post, and I'm a huge proponent of that right now.
You should be doing that no matter what.
Everything is video first.
Yeah.
Everything is video first. Transcribe it. If you want to pay an editor, great. But the reality is the overwhelming majority of people are not going to read the text. They're going to skim the text and they're going to watch the video.
Yep.
But I'm telling you though, captions, just go anywhere, go to a restaurant and look at how many people are on phones. Mm-hmm. They're doing that at school. They're doing it. The kids are doing it at school. Everybody's doing it at work and the car and the bar, and nobody wants that blasted sound on.
Yep.
So they're consuming content through copy, but they're all watching the videos. Yeah. It's almost
crazy.
It's almost, it's crazy. It's so necessary. The tool that I use, and there's a lot of cool ones out there. I use something called rev.com. Okay. So rev.com actually has an integration with YouTube. So it will automatically upload and replace the YouTube default captions with your rev.com, and it'll sync it up perfectly with your video. But it's the same sort of thing. You upload the video to Rev. It will go through. You can go through and you can edit it, and then you push a button and it automatically exports it into your YouTube channel. So it syncs with it directly. You also have the ability. So what is it? It's a SRT. .srt is the extension for captions, I believe, on the caption file. So you can download the caption file, and then SRT is the format, and you can upload it to any video player that will accept external captions.
Now that gets a lot more complicated into doing something like that. So
I like the push button; it automatically goes. I don't even have to worry about it.
But let's talk about that, because I think that the easier you make things, then the more likely you're going to do it. And so let's talk about that. So rev.com uploads the captions. Let's say, for example, someone's doing a weekly show, like we do a weekly show, and they want to do a weekly show. I mean, you guys have another show that you do together, and they want to be able to, stream it to YouTube, stream it to Facebook, which you can. We actually are using the service that's called StreamYard. And so you can stream to two different platforms, whereas like Zoom, you can only stream to one or the other. So you're either going to go to Facebook or you're going to go to YouTube, one or the other. When you have the captions, and let's talk about that, because when we do ours, the captions are showing right now on the screen. We don't see them, but it's showing on Facebook, right? So if someone goes and does exactly what we're doing, they're going to have the captions there. How do they take that copy with the captions that's happening on Facebook, and then maybe upload that into YouTube or repurpose it and send it out to a database. Does it keep those captions right there? Is there something else they need to do? Or do you know?
I don't think it keeps the captions. I've downloaded Facebook does not make it easy to export videos from live streams. It's like 3 or 4 different clicks, and you have to hit the 3 little ellipses. You have to hit the 3 dot ellipses, and then you can download it. I don't believe it downloads it with the captions. With the captions. So, I don't know if it's an option or not, but you can definitely live stream to YouTube, to Facebook. It's a little bit more challenging. Facebook doesn't like it, so they don't make it easy. But they did make it possible.
Right.
Yeah.
But having that ability
hurdles in your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Okay, what are the lemons? What are the lemons here, Ricardo?
The what?
The lemons. It's like he's got the sweet. It's like they're talking about sweet stuff. Okay, what are the hurdles? What are the lemons?
No, I'm saying they make it damn near impossible to.
Oh, gotcha.
Download it.
Yeah.
And I think so. Most of these transcription services, I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like your voice to text on your phone or Siri or something like that. It's okay to use the default captions. Like YouTube has default captions, Facebook has its default captions. You do want to make sure that those are turned on. I think you have to turn them on YouTube, if I remember correctly. It's okay to use those, but if you're really serious about it and if you're going to be putting out important content, I would look at one of these third-party services that we're talking about so that you can clean it up.
They're worth the investment.
They're worth the investment, but the reality is the default captions are going to be better than nothing. Right. And most people are, I mean, the biggest joke on the internet is damn autocorrect, right? And it's like there are whole communities around crazy autocorrects. So I think your consumers are going to be pretty forgiving if it's not perfect. But if you're putting out regular content that you want to be considered quality content, I would definitely advise that you look at a third party and get your captions cleaned up.
I feel like they've gotten better too, though. Like Veemly I used to have to clean it up a lot, and now I don't have to clean up all that much.
I think they'd learn to your conversation as well.
Yeah.
So the other thing, if you're doing video, so say you're recording a video and it's, not a Facebook Live, or it's not something, quick that you want to be able to record on your phone and send out promoting an event. But say you're putting together 7-minute video. I mean, it's a longer video. So this is going to be kind of a Kyle Seagraves kind of a video that you're walking somebody through it. So you can do 2 different things. You can put it into a Subly, you can transcribe it, you can put the transcriptions on, or you can put highlights that people can get an idea as far as what you're talking about without having to necessarily read word for word what you're talking about. And we do a lot of that in our educational videos that we create, is add
call outs on the side.
It's a call out, exactly. Yeah. So it can be on the side, maybe it's a pop-up, maybe it have some movement, things like that. Yeah. So, getting into that, and that gets into more video editing, Ricardo, to your point, that you have to kind of plan ahead and be able to, send that. But if you're doing something that is a longer video that's going to be more evergreen, it's definitely worth putting the time into that and having the nice call outs to where people aren't necessarily reading like word for word, but it kind of goes to your point. So they can get an idea, even if they're not listening to it, what you're talking about, without having to have that entire word for word. So that's another thing that we see that's beneficial. And Kyle does a great job with that. He'll pull out the iPad and just start writing things down. Yeah. And so the question then becomes, at what point do you have enough information that they're reading in a video that they decide they want to click on and listen to it?
Yeah, and it's also 100%. So give them the opportunity to know what the video is about, but it also makes the video a little bit more visually stimulating.
Exactly.
Right. So especially when you're doing the call outs and things like that, and you're right, Kyle's amazing at that. But Yeah, and that's really what. Well, to some extent, that is what you're doing. But I wonder, in that report, did they mention anything about whether you can tell whether when the sound gets turned on or not?
I don't.
I would be willing to bet that close to half the people would just sit there and read the whole video instead of turning the volume on.
I always read it. I never
Yeah.
turn the volume on.
And if somebody is like, I know, and there's a lot of people in the industry that they'll do, it's like the, Monday Morning Minute, and it's them talking. It's like, I would love to listen to you, but I'm not going to listen to you because I'm standing in line at Starbucks. So put, what you're talking about underneath, and I'm still going to watch you. So, and that's the advantage of video, because the video is it's that imprint. They're going to see you. They're going to see your face. They're going to feel like they know you. Those don't necessarily need to hear you. So the auditory is not as important as the visual, and making that impression and that imprint. But being able to have that, the words underneath, they will continue to watch you, know you, and be able to make that imprint with who you are and what you're talking about by having the content in there so they know what you're talking about. So honestly, I think having that, if you're not doing it on your videos, you're completely missing out on probably half of the audience that would actually listen to them.
Well, and the other side of that also is they know that now they can consume your content at any time,
Yep.
So you're training your audience base that you can engage with my content because I'm always going to give it to you in this way.
Yep.
So I don't because
you're removing friction.
If it was, exactly. Because if it was only video, okay, now I have to be at a place where I don't have to worry about people overhearing. I'm not going to bother anybody else. You have to carve out time to sit down and watch a video with no captions. But with captions, sneak that in anywhere. The line at Starbucks, waiting at the DMV. You could do it you could even watch videos in the library.
Yeah. You could. Well, and the thing of it is, and I know I keep my default on to mute. So anything that comes up on my social, my default, and most people are. In fact, it was funny. My default wasn't to mute. I think I was traveling, and for some reason, you turn your phone off and then it opens up again. And so I clicked on something, and it was a really loud video, like mariachi music. I mean, that's awesome. Super loud, and it came on, and I couldn't get it turned off. I mean, honestly, and this is how bad it was. It's like
you rushed to turn the volume down.
Oh my gosh. I was at my son. So my son graduated from college with his MBA last month. And so we were honestly at the live little cocktail reception they had for the president's toast. And the president of the university is actually giving the toast, and I had my camera out, my phone, to take a picture, and I hit the wrong button and hit this video of this mariachi music on my phone, and I couldn't get it turned off, and my son looked at me horrified.
That's awesome.
Oh my God. So most people have that default because you don't want those moments. It's like, hey, I don't really want to listen to this. I mean, you could be in church and you can be like, okay, I'm watching this, right? So you want to make sure, and people do this, like they don't have that option. They don't have that on. Otherwise you end up like me,
It's funny because that's the one thing that really annoys me about YouTube is the channel video will always autoplay with the sound on. And think about
that. I like hover over the volume control to try to turn it off.
It wasn't too long ago. I mean, it was a few years ago when marketers would say always autoplay the video on any page so that gets their attention. But I think now the best practice is, because that annoys me. I am severely annoyed if the sound starts blasting.
Yes.
Any page on anything that I ever go on.
Yeah.
And I mean, Ricardo assures me that he was just watching When Harry Met Sally when we were watching, but I'm not sure what that sound was coming out of his phone. But yeah, you really need to. It's fun. It's fun. Now he gets it. So
I'll have what she's having.
I made two archaic references. Earlier, I referenced this weird old building that used to hold these things with paper in them called books. I mentioned the library. For anybody out there that got lost when I mentioned that. But no, it's funny how attitudes change, right? I mean, you remember when that was a best practice is if you have video on your page, have it blast the second that your page loads. But now it's not.
Carl joined us.
Hey, buddy.
I've been sitting in the back of the bus. This has been great, man.
I know. It's like I just looked. It's like bad on me. No, it's like Ricardo was late jumping on, and like, I'm just like awesome.
This was great. Carl, a lot of notes. This is some really good stuff. It has.
Carl, do you have a redneck caption strategy? I don't. No, Ricardo, you missed his redneck teleprompter.
It's called the pencil. Just write on the video.
We've actually done things like that where, like one of my better videos or most seen videos is I'm literally, and I'm sure y'all have seen things like this, is where we write things on a piece of paper, and you show this one, and then you put that down and show the next piece, and show that down, put the next piece, and don't say anything. It's very captivating.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that, Carl, because you're 100% right, and I wasn't even thinking about that. I've seen some very compelling videos, viral videos that there's no speaking; they're just flip chart videos. Like you've seen those surprise ones where people will propose to their fiance, and she's back there doing stuff, and he's sitting in front of the camera. But I've seen some of those, even for mortgage, new guidelines come out, and the person just standing there and flipping the chart. That's a really good caption hack that people are very interested in. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah,
I love that.
Well, I'm glad you let Carl in. That was awesome.
I know. I'm so sorry.
That's
I'm sitting here. I'm trying to watch our comments, which we got a lot of people on here with us, and so yes. Always turn. So saying, Dale's saying I do the same thing. Scott, talking about subtitles. It's like the subtitles in movies.
I have to tell you,
like that.
The one area that, I mean, for me, I have to be very careful. Like, for me personally, I don't ever want to do any of the editing or like any piece of it, because here's the thing, we're in a very unique industry, which is selling loans. And the good thing about selling loans is every time somebody shakes their head yes, we make between, I don't know, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $1,500, whatever. A lot of money, right? I don't care who you are, a lot of money. And I always thought every minute that I'm doing the editing, that's 1 minute that I'm not spending getting another yes on another $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. I've always been an outsource guy, and I have to tell you,
people should hire VAs sooner.
Yeah, or somebody, right? Because the other thing I found out, like, there might be a cheaper way of getting somebody to edit this than the source I'm currently using. But again, our margins are so large. There's so much money in actually selling mortgages. If I spend a week comparing the different programs, Scott Shang and I have this thing that we call the COI, which is the cost of inactivity.
Oh.
And so it's not the cost of me having Ginger, a shameless plug. You're a fantastic video editor. So it's not the cost of having you're way too humble to mention it yourself. So I'll do it for you. So it's not the cost of having Ginger do my editing, right? It's the cost of not doing the video and Ginger not editing. What's it cost me not to do that video, of not getting those new customers, of not getting that new referral partner? That's the expense that I don't want to pay. And that's always the biggest check. is always the COI, the cost of inactivity for
Well,
everybody.
and to take that one step forward, and thank you, Carl, you're very kind. But to take that, because you can do that one video. And so I was talking to someone just this morning about he does one video a week, sends it out on BombBomb, and talks about a scenario. It's super smart what he's doing. He just says, and he calls it Save a Deal. And so he'll tell a story, which I love stories. That's a great thing to do. But he'll talk about a particular deal that he was able to, get to work, whether it was a VA, whether it was, first-time homebuyer, whatever. But he's only sending it through BombBomb. That's it. That's just his existing list. So that cost of inactivity can be higher if you're not, and you could be doing it. Say you are, I'm doing a video every week. Yeah, but how are you repurposing it? So that's the thing that I always want to see is like, how many different ways can we use that? How many different things can we get out of it? So you're doing it for BombBomb. Great. Let's put it onto YouTube. Now, let's share it out on social. Ian, let's put it on your website. Let's do the transcription of it. Like I know Andrew Vieira is on, and we talked about, taking his videos. So we took all of his videos that we did, transcribed them, which Scott, he got the idea from you for that. And he calls me, he's like, I want to do what Scott's doing. Like, okay, let's do it.
Excellent.
So that's the cost of inactivity, one, but the cost of perpetuating that and reusing that and repurposing that is really the next part of it. You're already doing it once. Why not use it in several different areas? So that's the thing that I want to have people think about and take it. And, you could do a long video. It's like Frank Garay. I was talking to him the other day and we were talking about, video. He started out in video a long time ago and he talked about, taking and chopping things up, Gary V styling, right? To where you do one long interview, you put it into shorter little pieces. So that's the thing to think about as you're doing this. It's like, how many different ways can I leverage it?
Yeah, you've already done all the work. And I think one of the things that Carl always says is who's your who, right? And it's definitely, it should never be you. You should do the work once, record the video because you're the expert, you have the story, you have the perspective, and then find somebody to take care of it. And when we talk about outsourcing this stuff, the cost to be able to do this is so low right now. It's cake. Yes, you can absolutely do it. But like what Carl said, if you spend, first of all, if you're learning to do it, it's going to take you hours. Those hours could cost you thousands. But even when you get good at it, it's still going to take 30 minutes of your time that you're not doing something better. You're not doing something else. So absolutely 100% get somebody to do it. You already put in the work, leverage it and get as much as you can out of it. And these are very, very simple and subtle tips that it's going to exponentially increase the attention and conversion that you get on your video content.
Absolutely. Very good. Okay, so we are at our time. And Carl, I'm so sorry I didn't see you down there in the little thing there.
It was awesome, man. I
looked down. I'm like, oh my gosh, Carl's here. I need to push a button. Push a button. I'm not used to that because Zoom is not that way.
Belching and everything. It was awesome. I didn't have to worry about it.
Making faces, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay, so to wrap things up, today we talked about captions, the importance of doing that. Obviously, we know that if you're going to sit down and watch a movie with Scott, you're going to be reading the subtitles. Ricardo, you better learn Spanish because you're going to watch those subtitles in Spanish. Carl, I don't know. Do you watch the movies with subtitles on or not?
I wish I could watch them in Spanish with Ricardo. I would love to learn. I really would. I live here in the Tampa Bay area, so I would love to learn Spanish, right? But I'm ashamed to say, well, not ashamed to say, but I would be in the Scott Shang. We watch movies. We watch all TV with the caption always running, and we can both hear fine. So my wife and I, we're not hearing impaired, but yet we started it probably about a year ago, I guess, maybe 2 years.
Really?
That and all the movies, like everything. Because sometimes, especially if we're watching a movie and somebody's got a bit of an accent. I'm down here in the South. If you don't talk redneck, I have trouble understanding. I got a friend of mine that lives up in Boston, West Oliver. Scott, West Oliver. He's one of the leaders in the Freedom Club. And
Jumping his car.
dude, we need somebody up in North Carolina, a halfway point to interpret for us,
That's awesome.
So if I'm watching a movie and somebody has like a British accent that's kind of hard to follow sometimes, we 100% of the time run the subtitles. We do.
It's the grand equalizer.
So it gets into, have you read a good movie lately?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I hadn't shared that with anyone. That was one of my dark secrets. And then I find out some of my best friends do that too. So I feel very comfortable coming out of the closet now. So
You're in good company.
I appreciate
Awesome.
that.
Very good. So to go along with that, as far as captions, and Ricardo, thank you so much for joining us today. We're definitely going to have you back on again. And so the app that you use, and I know it's available on iPhone because I grabbed it. Is it available on Android too? Do you know?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Don't know. That's how iPhone users are. So, like, I really don't care about the Androids. So, but we've got that scrolling on the screen. So it's Vemly. We talked about another transcription service, which is called Subly. The website is getsubly.com, and you can upload your video in there, get the transcription, repurpose that. I love that. And then Scott talked about rev.com, which you can upload your captions into as well. So a lot of great information today. I want to thank all of you so much for joining us. And we're going to be here next Friday. I have on the books for the one, the only, Renee Rodriguez to be joining us. And so I'm going to confirm that with him because I know he is a busy camper. But we do appreciate that. And for all of you that are joining us, thank you so much. And go out and make a video.